Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video in my series where I redesigned Pokemon to fit a game concept I made. Pokemon Blood follows the character Kestrel, who is a zookeeper turned gang member after an apocalypse event started by Yveltal's return to its cocoon. Kestrel's first mission in the game is to steal a starter from her old workplace, which is currently under the control of a rival gang. Because this is a zoo, I can choose whatever starters I want. 1 grass, 1 water, and 1 fire Pokemon. I thought about going with an Eevee, but after talking with my patrons about their favorite Pokemon, I decided to pick my favorite starters from each typing. Without further ado, let's get to drawing. The grass starter was definitely the hardest to pick because there are so many really good grass starters. Snivy, Bulbasaur, Rowlet, Weedcat. Rowlet is definitely my favorite because he evolves into my taste in men, but I decided to go with Treecko. I will be completely honest, I don't like Treecko. In fact, I don't like a single design in his entire evolution line, but I do know exactly how to fix it. The first thing I did was examine the Pokédex to see which features I couldn't remove. Now I know what I have to keep, I can actually start. I started by looking for reference images of geckos and found this green gecko with red markings. I made the head more gecko-like so it wouldn't look quite so dumb, and I gave him large eye ridges and a hard hump on his nose, kind of like the duck-billed dinosaur. The hard parts of his head could be used for combat like many horned animals do. I kept the tails exactly the same because they're already perfect. I imagine the round part of the tail has the same function as the spiked tails of the Ankylosaurus, for whacking things. I imagine it is much harder and heavier than it actually looks, kind of like a rock. I also gave him some eyebrows to make him look a little more fierce. The last bit I added was a small spike on his head that hints at the next evolution. Meet Treecko, the wood gecko Pokemon. Type, grass, ability, overgrowth. Treecko has hooks on the bottom of its feet that it can use to stick to walls. This Pokemon has a tough head and will go around headbutting random things and hitting people with the tough ball on its tail. Males have red throat patches and tend to be more aggressive than the females. Females have no red detailing on them at all and have a higher chance of trying to run away. The shiny has inverted colors. On 2 legs it comes up to Kestrel's knee, but it normally scurries around on all 4s. It only stands up when it's trying to look intimidating. I really like the idea of sexual dimorphism in Pokemon, which is where the males and females of a species look different. People think this isn't a common occurrence in Pokemon, but difference between the sexes are actually pretty common, if subtle. Many female Pokemon have smaller horns than the male, although the difference is only by a few pixels. I aim to make this more obvious in my game. In nature, females are normally more plain-looking than the males. This is because males need to compete for female attention on top of survival, which has caused them to evolve traits that females think is attractive. For many animals, especially birds, this includes bright colors like the red I used for the males in the Treecko line. Like the original Treecko line, most members of this species will be male, with less being female, so if you prefer the design with the red patches, you're in luck. The next Pokemon in the trio is Grovyle. With this information, I started by tracing the general shapes of a Velociraptor's head. I gave it more evolved eye ridges to make it look older and stronger than Treecko. Its eyes were mentioned specifically in the Pokédex entries from Fire Red and Leaf Green, so not only did they stay, I made them bigger. I gave it wings to incorporate the mentions of the leaves, which will do a better job of camouflaging it than the leaves it has in its original design. I also gave it a red crest under its neck that hints at the final design. I lengthened the head crest that came from Treecko, but again, it's not all the way there yet. Lastly, the twin tails are exact replicas of the tails that Velociraptors had, but with a grass-type spin. I considered giving it the thingies that Treecko has, but I decided against that in the final. Meet Grovyle. Now that it is older, Grovyle has realized that the world doesn't revolve around it and that there is room for improvement. It has strong thighs and that give it the ability to climb trees by jumping from branch to branch. It can use its wings to glide down for a fast escape, though it can't actually fly yet. It's very fast, making it nearly impossible to outrun in a chase. Males compete in battles to prove themselves to the females. I'm very happy with this Pokemon, and I'm even more happy with the finished concept art of it. I love its energy and I think it's a lot better than the original design. The last evolution is Sceptile, a Pokemon best known for almost being cool. Anyway, I based it off of the Dilophosaurus mixed with the Velociraptor origins of Grovyle. It has a large crest on its nose and full Velociraptor toes that were hinted at in Grovyle's design. I gave it a long, slender body and large wings to really lean into the dragon typing. I gave it a large, rubbery rooster-type crest under its chin and fixed its male pattern baldness for looking breedable to females. My least favorite part of Sceptile's designs is the balls on its back, so I switched them out for small spikes. It is stated in the Pokédex that these balls are seeds, but also nutrient-rich pods that rejuvenate trees, and that conflicting information is within the same two-sentence entry from Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire, but is even further confused by the entry from Emerald that says it plants trees. So which is it? What on earth are these balls? So I decided they're spikes, and have magical energy stored in them. These spikes, or seeds as they're sometimes called, fall off occasionally and give all the plant life in the area a boost. Meet your new dad, Sceptile, the forest Pokemon. Type, Grass Dragon. Ability, Still Overgrow. This Pokemon's skill and confidence have finally reached the same level. It knows exactly how to handle itself in battle, though it rarely engages in it. It is very rare for this Pokemon to evolve naturally in the wild because it takes so much work to level up. So when this does happen, most Pokemon know enough to stay away. Its large wingspan finally enables it to fly, though it normally glides on air currents to reduce energy costs. It is very tolerant of the younger members of its species. Female Sceptiles have been known to adopt Treeckos and young Grovyles that have lost their parents. Now I know that this Pokemon has a Mega Evolution. And that's the end of the video. Thank you everyone for being patient through delays due to software issues and my own poor planning. Leave a like, a comment, and a subscribe. I hate to have to ask, but it genuinely helps the vids reach more people. I love reading through your guys' comments. It genuinely makes my day. And yeah, see ya!